Hello. I'm starting 2 minutes early so that I feel like it takes a second for the notification to go out. So I figure why not start a little bit early so that people can get a notification. So I'll say hi, check in on everybody, and then we can dive on into book club. My dog is with me right now too. Hi. You said you love the look. Thanks. It's my usual go-to. I feel like it's very good. I've been every now and then doing my hair and makeup and like actually putting on like real people pants every now and then during self-isolation so that it like forces me to feel human. Wow. Yeah, there was like a lot of people that just like came on. Hi everybody. Welcome to Bryant's Book Club. Hi. Hello. Love my hair, thanks. Real people pants. Yeah. I feel like, can a lot of people agree with me that like there comes a point during self-isolation and it's not good for your mental health, and we'll talk about mental health a lot during this live, to not like get dressed and go about like a routine. I don't make my bed in the morning, which apparently is important, but I don't do that, so maybe I should. Hi. Love you too. Brazil loves you, and I love Brazil. What time is it? One more minute and then we'll start. Stardust. Hola, ¿cómo estás? What's your lip shade? I love it. Bountiful blush from Clinique. What do you love about filming Legacies? I love acting. I love being an actor. I love being on set and working with my cast and crew. Not my cast and crew, but the cast and crew that I work with. Hi from Switzerland, Ireland, Greece. Wow, hi! I don't know what time it is in those places. I hope that nobody's losing sleep over this because I'm gonna post this later. So if you're like staying up at 2 a.m. to watch this, fret not. Go to bed. Wake up at a decent time. Come on to my profile and you can watch this there. Okay. What time is it? 5 o'clock! Hi! Welcome to Bryant's Book Club. Today, my friends, we are talking about Neil Gaiman's Stardust. I figure what I'll do is I'll talk about sort of my opinion and my kind of take on the book. And then I'm calling 5 people today. This is gonna be a long haul, guys. So once again, if it's 2 a.m. for you, go to bed. I'm talking to 3 people from Twitter, 1 person from Instagram. I have my notes right here on the back of my geography homework. And then we're gonna be talking to Nikki from the Green Ribbon Club to talk about mental health during this strange time. And yeah, so my opinion. I think I kind of messed up because I read this other book, Annihilation, before reading this book, and I fell in love with Annihilation, like truly fell in love with it. I have it right here. Annihilation, okay? By Jeff Vandermeer. And I read it in one sitting, like did not breathe. It was just so good. It was like the definition of a page turner for me, personally, my opinion, right? And then I read this book and I liked this book. I enjoyed this book. I just didn't find it as like, I didn't find myself completely lost in it, like unable to put the book down, page turner vibe that I got from Annihilation, which I don't think that that's like what this book is meant to be. It's not meant to be this sort of like high intensity adventure tale. It's just like a light fairy tale that I feel like you can pick up and put down as you go. So it did what it was supposed to do, I think, but I don't need to read it again, if that makes sense. And a few people on here were saying that this was like their favorite book and they had read it before this, so I'd like to kind of dive into their mindsets. I just kind of felt, now hear me out for a hot second. This book is one of those things that it came out in 1997, right? So things have changed. I couldn't get past the fact that this was like Stockholm Syndrome. I'm looking at my mom right now because I'm like, I don't know if I should say this on the internet. I just can't get past the fact that this young woman, who is a star, Yvonne, the star, falls from the sky, and is super awesome. Like very, like quick-witted, stubborn. Like I love this girl. And Tristan, our main character, falls in love with Victoria and then goes off to get the star to bring it back to Victoria, who he doesn't really know but decides that he's in love with. Gets to the star and then realizes it's a human, but still puts a chain on her and says like, you're coming with me regardless of the situation. I just couldn't get past it. So it was one of those things. I enjoyed the adventures that they went on. I enjoyed the story and the way that it was told. A lot of people talked about like the explicit nature of the sex that was depicted, and if you're not wanting spoilers, like don't watch this. The death of the unicorn was really hard for me to read, and a lot of people kind of talked about that in their reviews. But yeah, I just felt like some pieces were missing as to why it was that they were in love in the end and why I should root for it, because the star basically said, you saved my life, so now I'm in debt to you, and like I will never be able to not be in debt to you. So there comes a point where it's like, okay, so this woman's broken her leg and he's still forcing her to walk on it, and then it's kind of like romanticized in the end of like, oh, and she still has a limp even after he's dead. And I'm like, yeah, she still has a limp because her dead husband forced her to walk on a broken leg. So anyways, I enjoyed the book. There were just some things that I couldn't quite get past as a young female. I don't know. There's just, yeah. But there were a lot of great things about it as well. I want to talk to, who do I want to talk to first? Oh yeah, okay, so I want to talk to this girl, Jazz, I believe is her name, because she kind of had similar opinions to mine, and you'll see throughout this live that I want to talk to people with similar opinions and differing opinions, and I find it interesting because my opinion isn't always, it's not right, it's an opinion, right? So nobody has to agree with my opinion. I like to hear other people's opinions. That's kind of the whole point of a book review. Okay, so I want to talk to Jazz, and let's see. I know somebody said that like the live thing is different now, but it doesn't look like it's that different. Okay, let's find her. Let's see. Why am I so bad at this? Jazz, are you calling in, please? Viewers. Waiting. Hi!
Hi.
How are
Hi.
you?
So I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, that's my dog. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of talk to you about your opinion because you kind of wrote that you felt like the ending was a little anticlimactic, and so I just wanted you to kind of talk about your opinion for everybody to hear because I read it.
Yeah. That's right. No, so you were saying earlier about how strange it was that you know, sorry, I'm a bit nervous, but like so yeah, basically, I in some ways I like that it was going like how you said something about the consent and the boundaries of like, you know, they realize that the star is a human, but he still wants to bring him back, bring her
Right.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and it was the same as well for the storm
Wormhole.
hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them, and they were like, okay, we gotta get the star as well, and same for the witch queens.
Mm-hmm.
I felt, and I was like, okay, I mean, it depicted like, okay, I think in a way I saw the connection of like how, because she she's a girl, like it's sort of like women are to be won and captured.
Mhm.
And like I feel like that would be so different if maybe the star was like a male or something like that.
Completely right. And I think
Yeah,
like I have
yeah,
to wonder if the way that the author tried to kind of like step away from the like objectification of women was by making the witch a female, that it was like, oh, like it's not just men that are after this star, but then
yeah,
the witch
yeah,
only want
exactly.
the star for her youth, which is like a classic sort of theme in like women in fairy tales, I feel like.
Yeah, 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 that's right.
Yeah.
And with the whole thing towards the end, where you see the male and the female character sort of like start to, because you could see tension in the beginning of the book, and then slowly somehow they start to sort of get along. And
Hmm.
then towards the end, he sort of like doesn't go with Victoria, and suddenly he's with her. And and the whole idea that even within the fight as well, that the Stormhold and the Witch Queens, and with the two main characters, like it just didn't seem like there was much going on. It was too easy for them
Right, like
in
with
the
the
end.
whole like
Yeah,
her being in the wat, like him being a rat, was it? And then her just being like not seen, and then just like
yeah,
going past the witch, and it was just like, okay, like
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
felt like it'd be this like
exactly.
big epic ending, and it just never happened.
Right. And then with the death of the one of the sons of the Stormhold, and and then the other one dies as well through the Witch Queen. I was just like, they got away so easy, I felt.
Right, right. And I have to wonder if that was the purpose of the writer, was like, I'm not going to make it this like classic sort of formula of what a fairy tale is, where there's this like big ending. It was just like, oh no, like everything's fine. But it
Yeah,
was kind of strange to read and like expecting something big to happen and then hitting the last page and being like, oh, oh, okay.
yeah, 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 exactly. So I don't know. I was just a bit. I expected a lot more
Hmm.
from the book, and but I mean, I think it was interesting to see. Even though I think I was reading the comments of other people as well, and how they didn't really like Tristran, however you say his
I've
name.
seen people just say Tristan and like give up on it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so and but I mean, it was a bit interesting that at least at the end, you sort of see him, at least like telling Victoria that, oh, you should go and marry the person that you love. I mean,
Right.
even though thinking about it, he still got what he wanted in the end, which was the star.
Right. And it
But
was almost like she
yeah,
needed his permission to go and do what she was already planning on doing in the first place.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
kind of, I mean, I I can sort of see why, um, like there was a sort of a win at the end, but like I don't know. I expected so much more from it, and in a way, I think maybe the author was trying to say that you know the women are not prized to be won, but like it
But you
didn't really
still kind of
deliver
play
to
it in
me.
that way
Yeah,
regardless. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it was one of those things, and I thought that what you also said about the sex being explicit was also one of those things where it was like, oh, okay, so this is like a classic fairy tale, but then like you're chopping off the head of a unicorn and like very,
Yes.
they're like very descriptive of the sex, and it's just very like I can't piece it together. It's like, okay, so you take all
Yeah.
this time to describe like how Tristan was like made, but then like you don't exactly cover like what exactly formed him throughout the journey. Like there was a huge chunk of the journey that I felt like was just kind of like, and then they made it to the end and there was the wall. Like,
Right, right. Exactly. How exactly it was made, and then 17 years later, and yeah, about the it was just so weird, like with the whole sex scenes in the book, because really you think of it as like a fairy tale, but it's like
which
just
I guess
doesn't
like
go doesn't
things
really
like
go
Game
with
of
it.
Thrones are like technically fairy tales, so maybe people just like take that and run with it. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't know, I just found it so funny before the death of one of the Stormhold's son, and he was like going for sort of like a round two, I guess, in the scene, and then he was killed off. So I don't know. I thought that part was quite funny, actually.
I like some of the humor was actually pretty spot on. Like I enjoyed some of the humor, like with him being gone for 6 months and like going on this huge journey to get to Wall, and then somebody just turning around being like, "No, you can't come in," and him just being like, "Oh, okay, I'll wait it out." It's just like,
Yeah,
what? Like,
yeah,
you
exactly.
really flew in a flying pirate ship for this, and you just get turned away. So yeah, I enjoyed the humor too.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well,
And
it was really great talking to you. I have a few other people to talk to, but thank you so much for sharing your opinion. I really loved reading it. And thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. And I really hope that, you know, everyone can stay safe in this timing. And, you know, I just hope you and your family are all good during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that you're doing well and staying safe as well and staying in when you can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
All right, bye.
These are my favorite things to do because everybody is so nice and so cool. Okay, let's see. Who else did I want to talk to? There is Poppy. Poppy was one of the first, the descriptions? What am I trying to say? The first reviews that I read, and I was like, I need to talk to this human. Because they kind of brought up a really interesting concept that was talking about that kind of like what I related to it was being in between two cultures and having to kind of decide. And she talked about Tristan neither being of like fairy or Wall and kind of how he felt that once towards the end of the novel when he went to Wall and was like, yeah, no, I think I'm done. So I wanted to talk to Poppy because they had really cool things to say. Let's see. Poppy, where are you at? I almost just started adding a filter to me. That's not what I meant to do. Let's see, where are you at? Poppy? I feel like half of this is just me, like, looking at my screen, being like, I hope I can find you. Stop moving. Poppy, where are you? Are you in the comments? Can I find you here? Poppy? Poppy, where are you at? Poppy! Come in. Where are you at? What's happening? Poppy, are you trying to go live with me? Please? Should I wait for Poppy and go on with somebody else? Okay, I can't find Poppy. Poppy. Okay, while I wait for Poppy, I will talk to, I think his name is Arrow, and this is particularly exciting because this is going to be our first male on Bryant's Book Club, which sounds dumb, but I've never gone live with a male on Bryant's Book Club. And so his review was actually really interesting, and a lot of people like really wanted this guy to be on Bryant's Book Club. Like, we're really like into it. So I of course wanted to bring him on because I feel like he now has a fan club. And so he kind of brought up a few interesting things. He was saying that this was his favorite book, or it was his favorite book. But he really liked the description of the creatures, and he actually really enjoyed the ending. Which I also really enjoyed the description of the creatures. So I want to talk to Arrow. I think that's how you say your name. Arrow. I keep trying to put a filter on my face instead of add somebody to the live. Just so you know, the people that are trying to, that I asked to go live with me, why is it not even coming up now? What's happening? Go away. Go away. Hi. What's happening? Arrow. Why is it not working, guys? Help. Help. I keep opening the freaking filter thing instead of the, ah! Am I? What's happening? Mom, I'm having a mental breakdown. I don't know how to, oh. Hey, Arrow, if you're in here, could you comment saying hello? And maybe I can add you manually from here because this is painful. Why can't I just press the thing? Why? No! Should I end the live and start it again? The button's not working. Is my live being like overridden by like humans? Is that even possible? Help. Green Ribbon Club. Shout out Nikki. Nikki says everybody stop commenting except Arrow and Poppy. Please. It's Quincy. He did it. Would not be surprised. Hey, Bear Bear. This is very intense. Can you please? But see, if I end it and restart, then Jazz's thing is going to be gone. And that makes me sad because they were cool. Okay, fine. I'll end it, restart it. Everybody come back, please. Thanks. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that the right thing to do in this situation? I'm zen. I'm chill. I'm going to end this. I'm going to start it back up. This is a fail. Okay, I'll be right back. I hope you guys come back too. Okay, bye. Can you hear me? Yes. Oh! Okay, you need to get that away from me because that's really annoying. Oh my gosh. Green Ribbon Club says yes! Woo! That was really stressful. Okay. Can I go live with Green Ribbon Club right now so they can talk me down? Green Ribbon Club, help! Hi!
Hi.
Hi, Hi, Nikki. Would you like to introduce yourself to the public and talk me down as well as them? Because
I was like
stressful.
texting you on the side, like, dude, just listen to the people.
And I had my mom yelling at me like the back of the house being like, I can't hear you. I'm like, help. Oh my gosh. Hi, how are you?
I am actually doing really well right now.
Good.
Watching you struggle was funny on our part, so I'm very
You know,
sorry that
as long as somebody else can laugh at my struggles, you know.
Okay, so let me introduce myself real quick. Hi everyone, I'm Nikki from Green Ribbon Club. Green Ribbon Club is a mental health and suicide prevention nonprofit. And quick question, Kaylee, are you wanting to do the mental health portion right now, or do you want to finish the book club?
Yeah, no, I would love to do the mental health portion right now just because you're the only one that I can actually get in contact right now. So I figure we'll take a little break to talk about mental health and then we can get back to the book club.
Okay, sounds good. Well, for one, let me just say, I think this live is helping a lot of people with their mental health. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
So that everyone kind of knows that I'm not just rando talking, spewing facts and stuff. I just wanted to give a very short story of who I am and what mental health means to me. So I am currently a senior at Harvard, and it's been a long way getting here because and sorry, let me actually preface this with I'm going to be very honest about my experiences, but I will not say anything too graphic that would be triggering. So I want to make sure this is a safe space for everyone. I want to make sure your mental health is in the right space to hear this. So I'm going to I'm not going to sugarcoat my story, but I'm also not going to go too graphic. So during my time at school over the past 5 years, I actually almost killed myself twice. And I had to take a year and a half off of school, different times. And during my time off, I found another guy named Brian McInerney who was really interested in mental health. And together we started Green Ribbon Club because what we noticed was, I mean, guys, don't get me wrong, there's so many mental health organizations out there. But what we thought was missing was focusing on youth, and not only focusing, like, stopping the stigma is so important. We need to talk about it. But also through my experiences, I realized that people are not equipped to help young people. And I felt like I didn't really have anywhere to go or people to speak up for me. So we decided to create a program for high schools and colleges and one middle school. We're hoping to get more, that will help kids not only learn how to advocate for themselves, but how to advocate for others. And by advocating, I mean getting them the help they need, changing policies at schools, changing policies in your city. And something that I think is so important right now is, you know, if people are watching the news, if things that you're seeing online, everyone is talking about COVID-19. Coronavirus is so serious right now, and it should be taken seriously. But as they're saying, let's put our lives on hold, let's stop going to work, let's stop going to school, they have not addressed the fact that our mental health hasn't stopped. And we're still struggling with the things that we've always been struggling with. And what makes my heart so sad is, like, you're seeing the death toll for coronavirus, which is awful, but there's been, most likely, I can't say for sure, I don't have the stats on it, but I guarantee there's been an increase in suicide, and especially among young people who aren't at school anymore. I mean, and for the people who are watching, I take some of them are probably school aged.
Yes.
Would you say, Kaylee?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I would just like to tell everyone that I completely empathize with how much it sucks being ripped out of school. Like, just with my own personal self, I came back from almost killing myself twice and worked so hard to get to where I am. And right at the finish line, they're like, nope, pack up your things, go home.
And I feel like there's also something to be said that self-isolation is a coping mechanism that usually is like, okay, at my worst, I self-isolate. But now you might be at your best, but you're being forced to self-isolate, which is something that brings you back to a time that you don't want to revisit.
Yes. Specifically, like a lot of people who struggle with mental illness, specifically depression, bipolar, things that make your thoughts ruminate, is you're not only self-isolating from your social life, but you're also alone with your thoughts now. And that can be the scariest thing. Oh, but one, I do have to say, in terms of self-isolate, I think it is important to draw a distinction between we're staying home and isolating from personal interactions, but we can't isolate from the world. That's what's going to keep us going. We need this live right now. You're allowing, what is it, almost 3,000 people to feel connection, to feel like the world is still moving and that there is more going on. So it's important to draw that distinction and know that I'm staying at home, but I'm not isolating. I'm still doing things for myself and recognizing the parts of your identity that you can keep whole during this time.
Well, and I think that it can change for every single person too. And so I think that it's really important to check in with yourself of like, okay, what is it that's making me uncomfortable right now? What is making me, personally, I struggle with anxiety. So what's making me have these anxious thoughts? And so something helpful for me is being connected to the outside, like actually being outside. So if that's something as simple as opening a window while I go to bed, that is life-changing. And so I think that for every single person, that means something else. It could mean making your bed in the morning. It could mean putting on makeup to make yourself feel like you're starting your day in a specific way. Like, I think everybody has a different sort of thing that can help them feel comfortable while still being at home, while not feeling completely separated from what their life used to be.
Now, one huge caveat on that is I know that people who struggle with mental illness sometimes don't have the energy or motivation to do those things.
Yeah.
So even getting out of bed, even brushing your teeth or taking a shower is a huge deal. You don't have to put makeup on. You don't have to get dressed.
No.
Yet those. So do you know behavioral activation?
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes if you don't want to do it and then you get dressed and put makeup on, all of a sudden you feel better just because you did it. And that's really, but one thing that I wanted to say in terms of how to deal with being alone, and you said going outside, doing makeup, getting ready, is something that I actually learned when I was in a psychiatric hospital. So, which by the way, guys, psychiatric hospitals shouldn't deserve a stigma. They're fantastic. Yeah, so look at me. I'm a college senior and I went to a psychiatric hospital and I'm normal. Well, who's it really normal? Anyway. But a bing. So something that I learned there is during this time where you have no energy, you aren't motivated to do much, you don't have a lot of resources around you, 3 things keep you going, in my opinion. Also, I have to preface all of this with, I am just a kid. Like, I study cognitive neuroscience. I am in no way licensed therapist. Please don't hold me liable for anything you do.
You're just talking from experience, though.
Yes, experience. And also, I've gone across the country helping people and talking about this and going to conferences and everything. So the first thing that this is an everyday kind of thing. So 1, doing a therapeutic activity. Therapeutic activity basically means thinking about what you consider your self-identity and doing something around that. So a therapeutic activity I made, as my therapeutic activity, I did a little project called Self-Care Alphabet, and literally just got some markers, got some flashcards, and basically did this thing of different ideas that I could do each day. So making sure to be kind to yourself. And mind you, this is an activity that I did and then thought of activities as I was doing it.
Right.
Being with dogs is majorly important. Tiki, come here. She'll mosey her way on over here.
Yeah.
Finding hobbies. This is so important, but completely understanding if you don't have the energy to do that right now. Because sometimes right now, it's hard to even keep up with the hobbies that you do have. Like, for the past week and a half, I've been sitting here wanting to text the girl that I've been dating. And yet, every time, like, I'm thinking of her and I'm like, I really want to stay in touch with her, and just like not being able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an explanation as to why you can't do it.
It just like something stops you.
Have you had any experiences right now with wanting to do something, but like almost feeling physically unable to do it because you're caught with your anxiety?
Oh, completely. I haven't been on my phone able to respond to any texts or calls, as you are probably very aware. Yeah, I haven't been able to talk on the phone or text people. I have, I think, 41 unread text messages right now. A lot of people like see that. It's like anxiety works in different ways for a lot of people. So the red sort of notification thing for some people with anxiety is like a sign of like, oh my God, I need to clear that. For me, it's like I see that and it's like this feeling in the back of my head of like, okay, I need to do that. But there's something more more anxiety inducing about opening it than seeing that red mark, if that makes any sense.
It 100% does. In my mind, it's almost like I know it's there and I know I need to do it, yet I don't feel like I have the time and energy to mentally focus on crafting a beautiful text.
Right. And it could just be as simple as like, hello, but there's something like, so there's a block there of just even opening it up to be like, okay, I'm going to do this text.
Yeah. I mean, your texts in particular are always like a freaking paragraph long.
I'm like, okay, I'm doing the text.
So it can take a lot of time and energy, and so something that anxiety does is makes it seem like this huge, overbearing, horrible task. And then when you do it, you're like, oh, that was fine. But
right,
you just
like, oh, what was I so anxious about? It was fine.
Yeah.
And then the next text comes and you're like, wait, I can't do this.
Dude, I texted your brother. I was like, is she okay?
Like, what's happening? Yeah.
Okay, so that was a little bit of a sidetrack, but just a couple other. So we're talking about the therapeutic activity. There's also, and I hate this one, the physical activity. But the thing is, even if you live in a 2-story house, walking down the stairs, or while you're talking on the phone, walking, I mean, I pace anyway, but like anything to get at least 15 minutes of physical activity, because there are chemicals in your brain that need to be released. And if you're already struggling and you're not getting that, then it really sucks.
Yeah.
And then the other one is journaling your thoughts and emotions. This can come in definitely different forms, because I, for one, don't like journaling. But when I get into a rant in my head, it's really nice to just write it in your notes. Like, typing is so much easier. And it is a good release, especially right now when you don't have a physical release. I mean, you have your mom, I have my family, but we're incredibly privileged with that. I know a lot of people who are alone. A lot of people at my school are international students and have not been able or allowed to go back home. So I fully recognize our privilege when we're talking about this, and I want to make sure that all of your viewers know that. So it's important, if you don't have access to a physical person or your family, that you're able to at least have some release of your thoughts, and that can be through a journal, through video chat, through writing in your notes. Tiki, hi, come here.
Is Bear Bear here? Bear Bear! Hi, Tiki! Come here, baby. Come here.
Hi, Joe.
Oi. Hi!
Oh my goodness, another white beard.
This is the most beautiful live ever.
Yeah, let's just bring all the dogs onto live.
Yeah, I think that'll be like the next live is like, let's do a live with our dogs. Instead of Bryant's Book Club, it'll be Bryant's Dog Club or Cat Club. Just a children club, like your children.
Someone brings a baby.
Yeah, they're like, here's my real child. I'm like, oh.
In my Zoom class, you know, everyone's on Zoom now, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, there's like at the beginning of class, people are holding up their cats, their tarantulas,
That's
their dogs.
amazing. See, I'm lucky that my online classes aren't like live through Zoom, so I'm just top buns zit cream on. Yeah. So I'm full-time college student again.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, but example number 1, picking up hobbies.
Yeah.
Learning new things. My brother's girlfriend is learning French.
Like, I'm learning French right now.
Whoa. I've been hearing her in the room next to me just repeating the same words over and over and over again.
My pronunciation is just god awful. So we're gonna leave
Say something.
Just bonjour. I'm just gonna like say it like the most like hick accent. But yeah. Definitely
wear
having
a cowboy hat while you do it.
Yeah, right. Having my like thing that makes me feel like good about getting out of bed and help with my anxiety is actually placing my anxiety in something that feels like it is validated in feeling anxious, if that makes any sense. So being in school, I feel like I have a logical excuse to feel like I need to do these things because I actually do have a due date.
No, that's really, really smart. And then continuing on the topic of things that you can do, because I feel like a lot of people are just questioning, what do I do? Something that helps me a lot is helping someone else. So something that is really great about that is it can either be you reaching out to your extroverted friends, but you know what? Your introverted friends too. Okay. There's a difference between wanting to stay in and being forced to stay in.
Right. Completely. I was like, oh yeah, self-isolation. I'm very good at this. And then I was like, oh, I like having a choice in being good at this. Like,
exactly. You're like, I like getting texts saying want to do this and saying no.
Right. I like having the option, which I think everybody does, extroverted and introverted.
Mm-hmm. So helping other people, but then also something that I've noticed is if you notice that one of your friends or neighbors or whatever isn't doing well, asking them for help. Because it's this kind of like reverse psychology where if you ask someone else to help you, they feel like they have a purpose. And then while they're helping you, they're also figuring themselves out. Right. What they're telling you, they'll then follow that advice as well. So it's important to know if you're struggling, talk about it. Like that's Green Ribbon Club's motto, is talking about it, being honest about it. So when you asked me, how are you? I said, I'm actually doing really well, because today I actually am doing really well. But you have to be honest when people ask, especially right now when you can't pick up on like body physicality cues.
Right.
So for example, Kaylee, how are you actually?
I'm doing much better now that my dog is in my lap.
Yes. And I hope everyone who has a pet cuddles with them.
Yes.
Kiki is actually my service dog, so she is trained to recognize my anxious energy.
I feel like I should get Barrett verified as my sort of service dog, because he really does help with my anxiety, and I think that anybody who does have an animal that they're kind of connected to can like kind of understand where I'm coming from when I say that. Like having like a little doggo on your lap every now and then is just like, okay.
Little doggo.
Having a little doggo or a big doggo. I don't know.
He is also trained to interrupt self-harming behavior, to kind of like guide out of situations if I'm kind of out of my head, kind of a thing. So there are some really interesting things that dogs can do. Boom. One thing that you guys can start doing from your homes, look up service dog tasks and see all the amazing things that dogs can do. They're so crazy.
Shoot,
hi,
maybe
buddy.
that'll be my dog's hobby for this time.
Okay? Is your dog the crazy one? I know that there are two in your
So
family.
technically, the crazy one was meant to be my dog, but our personalities are too similar. So we don't vibe. You know how they say, like, if you met your clone, you would either kill them or fall in love with them?
Yeah.
I met my clone, we don't like each other. I love Bodhi a lot,
No,
but
thank
like,
you.
but we just, it's two wrongs do not make a right. So Bodhi is now my mom's dog, and Barrett, who was my mom's dog, is now my dog.
Okay, you guys did a little switcheroo.
Yes, and it wasn't on purpose. Like, Bodhi just decided one day that he was like, this girl is not for me. So
Oh,
yeah,
Bodhi.
yeah, we tried. We really tried to make it work. But yeah.
You know what? You got some quality time and you learned something about yourself. So
Yes, yes, it most definitely did.
I have to say something during this isolation. I'm learning so much about myself. And that I encourage everyone who's watching, really, it will hurt, and take a break if you want to. Really have some self introspection. Look at yourself, look at what you like, what you don't like. Sometimes you'll find things that you don't like about yourself, but then you'll realize, okay, wait, I can change something about that. On the topic of changing, I want to remind everyone, if you're on medication, please don't just say,
don't just go off your
just
medication.
taking it. Yeah, don't go off your medication. Keep up with, like, that is essential. Please,
Yeah.
please. I'm on meds. I
Same.
take meds every day. Woohoo! And especially right now, when you have to stay inside, it's so important to not have any other major life changes.
Yeah, no, just don't. You know, it's like, I study science in school. There's too many, you can't have too many things going on in the equation, or else you can't pinpoint what did it. You know what I mean? You can't.
Exactly.
Just do the good things.
Yeah. I have two more activities that I think people would enjoy: mindfulness and meditation. Sorry, this is all backwards.
We get the idea, and the pictures are really, like, really cute.
Thank you.
I really like those.
I've never really drawn before, so that was one of my new. I got like a pack of 50 different color markers.
New hobby.
And just exactly. So this is a little brain meditating, if you couldn't tell. So meditation sounds like a big scary thing to me. Like, when I think meditation, I'm like, okay, don't I have to be on a tropical island in complete silence? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what when in reality, it's just taking 5 minutes out of your day and focusing on breathing and focusing on staying.
There's also some really great apps for free that you can download.
Can you post those?
Can I what?
Can you post those after the live?
Yeah. I can't remember. Yes. I'll find them and I'll post them. But yes. I was like, can I
also
post them?
Sure, that's exactly what I said, Kaylee. Can you also post our website, Green Ribbon Club?
Yes.
Because on our website, we have a resources page, which isn't for exactly the isolation, like thinking of different ideas. It's very much for, if you're struggling with a mental illness, know that an essential business is the suicide hotline, is finding a therapist, is helping others and advocating. So on our resource page, you'll find stuff that you really, if you need it, it'll be there for you.
And also, shout out to the fact that if you have never had a therapist before and you feel like you need to talk to somebody, therapists are still working. I talk to my therapist once a week over the phone. I can talk to them over, you can talk to them over Zoom, Skype, you can talk to them over the phone. You can even text a therapist. Just putting that up.
There's actually a website that it's been helpful for deaf and hard of hearing people. It's been helpful for people who can't get out of bed. That it's chatting online with therapists. So that's been super cool as well. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just saw my brother's girlfriend come into the app. Hi, Mel. Oh. It's really strange seeing people commenting.
Oh yeah, there are sometimes where I see my friends and they'll like make fun of me in there, and I'm like, try to ignore it.
I'm doing my best.
Right.
Wait, do you watch the show Winona Earp?
I have never
Or
known.
Okay, there's this actress on it, Melanie Scrofano, and I was talking to her about what she thinks the most important thing in maintaining your mental health, and I really loved her answer. It was just, I'm not going to cuss, just effing breathe. And that, I think, goes in with the mindfulness and meditation of, if you, it sounds super cheesy and it doesn't sound like it would work, but focusing on your breathing, have you seen that GIF where it's like a triangle that goes into a square that goes into an octagon?
Yes.
Do you know
Yes.
what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing to that, I don't know how else to explain it.
Well, and also something that my therapist taught me was like building up to 10 seconds. So I do 5 seconds inhale, 5 second exhale, and I will literally do that for like over an hour until I feel okay, because breathing is so helpful.
No.
Oh no, frozen. Come back.
You froze a little. Wait, did I freeze? You froze.
Yeah, you froze too. Oh no. Are you frozen now?
No.
Oh. Ah.
We good?
Breathing. Yes. Can you see me?
Breathing good.
Breathing good, good breathing go. Good.
Also, on the fact that you just said you're talking about your ways of coping skills with your therapist and stuff, something that I think it's very important during this time is we don't have to like hold our coping mechanisms to ourselves. We can share that. It's not like, oh, I'm paying $50, I'm paying $300 with my therapist, so
I can't tell you my coping mechanisms that my therapist told me. It's like,
yes. Right now, especially if you're in therapy, share what you've learned. It's this whole thing that other people don't know that would be so helpful. So when I learned in the psychiatric hospital is what I'm telling you guys, and you learned the breathing thing. So everyone who is on the live, do it.
Breathe.
And then I had, this one's my favorite. I can consider myself an artist after this. Process your emotions.
I love Inside Out.
Aren't they so cute?
They're so cute. I love anger.
Yeah. So despite just a cute little drawing, that is something, how I said in the beginning, like our mental health doesn't stop. Our emotions don't stop. Kaylee, I think you'll agree with me that we absolutely validate everyone on every single emotion that they feel.
Yes.
Yes, there are horrible things going on. And like how I was talking about, we're really privileged in the fact that we're in our houses with our families, but it's still completely valid to be upset that you're not graduating, to be angry that you're missing prom, to be disgusted at the fact that you have to share a bathroom with your brother again.
Yeah.
To have joy in the little things. Like, we validate all of those emotions, and it's really important to process them all and to know that we all care about you.
Word.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Boom.
Validate your emotions, people.
Yeah, I validate you.
I validate you. And it's one of those things, I think, too, where it's like, I think that for somebody that maybe struggles with anxiety like I do, I kind of do go down that path of like, you're not validated in feeling upset that you couldn't do this, and this, because you're too privileged to say that. And there's people that are going through this, and this, so you can't even feel that emotion. It's like, no, I can feel those emotions. It's completely valid because it happened. It's happening. I feel it. They're there. Just like saying that they're not there makes it worse. It just draws out the whole process of self-acceptance and love.
I mean, it could be especially hard right now watching the news and saying like people are losing their lives, people are sick. So you're like, I'm healthy. Why am I so upset?
Right.
You're upset because your brain is telling you to be, and that's completely valid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't compare yourself to other people's experiences. And it's just like you said, if you don't validate it and recognize it and deal with it, then it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just looking through. I know I'm taking a lot of time. I apologize.
No, it's good. I feel like everybody needs to hear this, so take your time.
Yeah. One thing I will also, so I'm reading my notes to make sure I got everything. But one thing in the meantime, if you have any questions, please, please, please reach out to us at Green Ribbon Club. We're on Instagram. You can private message us. You can go to our website and message us. Once again, we all are not licensed therapists. We're all school-aged people, but we can direct you to resources, and we can give our advice based on our own lives. And I mean, I really, really, really enjoy helping people. So please don't say, oh, I don't want to be a burden. Oh, I don't want to take up your time.
Well, it's like you said earlier, sometimes helping people is your own kind of form of therapy.
Yes. And that was one of the hardest things for me my first time around with suicidal ideation, was people weren't wanting to share their problems because they were saying, you have it way worse. And I'm like, please share your problems with me.
Right. It's like you're invalidating yourself, which means that I can't even connect with you on this when I know I can.
Exactly. Yeah. So help yourself, help others, encourage others to reach out for help. I mean, we're all, I know this sounds cheesy, but we're all in this together, like literally inside it together.
Quarantining together.
Sorry. But
we're both just like way too corny to be together because we're just like
literally, especially since it's a video call, I feel like every time I'm like, Zoom calls. Okay, anyway, moving on. So another thing for physical activity, it can literally just be stretching. And especially because right now we're not moving as much, it's so important to, just crack your body, stretch it out.
It feels great. You don't really need to move that much. You'll hear your body just start cracking in the strangest ways. Yeah. And you can do it while watching your favorite show.
Exactly. Is your favorite show Legacies?
I lived it, so I will.
Which?
I'll promote it. I love Legacies, but currently watching Killing Eve.
The new season, did you see that BBC is releasing it early?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm so excited, but I'm not excited the fact that I actually have to watch it live now, which like that is like a whole other thing of like not being able to just go to the next episode where I'm like, oh my God, how am I not gonna watch it all? It's fine.
What I will tell you in between, I have watched like everything Jodie Comer has been in. So I high-key recommend go on Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, look up Jodie and watch
stalk Jodie. That sounds like something I'll spend the rest of my evening doing other than homework. But Jodie Comer just takes the cake.
I don't need to do homework. I'm just going to screen record this. Oh, that's also something I need to validate all y'all. Doing homework during isolation is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
There's something just so distracting about being home. So as a fellow online schooler and somebody that spent all of high school doing this, mind you, I'm one of those weird kids that was homeschooled.
I thought you went to OSHA.
I did go to OSHA, but only for middle school. So a lot of people don't know that OSHA was like middle school and high school. I only went for middle school. I didn't get the high school approved. Like I never went to prom, never went to like any of those things.
You're like, bye.
I was like, I never was gonna go anyways. And so, little tips for people. This has nothing to do with maybe it does have something to do. It all ties together. But having a space that is just dedicated to your schoolwork is so important, because I will sit here and I will like touch everything, distract myself with anything, be like, maybe I'm hungry, until it's like, no, Kaylee, just learn French. Bonjour. So yes.
It's like that thing. I'm sure it's anyone who's taken a science class, I'm sure has heard this. Psychologically, if you stay in the environment that you're doing work in, then the next time you do it, you'll know I'm doing work. So your brain creates these pathways of like, oh, the living room is where I work. I don't know.
This is my workspace. Time to work. Yeah. Very strange how those things work.
If you live with others, tell them to get the heck out of your space.
Math. You're not allowed to be in my space, bro. Just kidding. I love you. I'm very appreciative of you.
Are you talking to your mother?
Yes. I'm like, yeah, bro, get out. Just kidding. Love you. Thank you for letting me stay with you.
So yes, it's important to keep up with homework though. Stay in school, kids.
Stay in school. Don't give up because it feels weird doing it at a different setting, because I'm also one of those people where I'm like, wait, but it's a different setting, so the teacher can't possibly expect me to be on time with it. They will expect you to be on time with it. Professors are ruthless, man. Like,
Yeah.
I love my professors.
They're watching.
They're always watching.
No, but legitimately, I told my professors, oh, I'm going to be doing this on Sunday. And I'm pretty sure my psychology of women professor is watching. So what's up, Dr. Knoll?
Hi, Dr. Knoll.
Hello.
I had to tell my French professor that I was on Legacies. And I was like, this is the most embarrassing day of my life. Like, this is unarguably just awful. Like,
you mean you didn't get to just show them your Legacies hat and sweatshirt?
Like, there are certain things that I'm like, there's school Kaylee and there's Legacies Kaylee. School Kaylee doesn't know this Kaylee. Like, we don't talk about her. Like,
which, by the way, I'd like to give a quick shout out when talking about your hat and your sweatshirt. Thank you to Moog for bidding on your sweatshirt and winning, and thank you
Moog.
Alex for bidding on your hat.
Thank you, Alex.
We got a total of, I think, nearly like $2,000 for both.
That's
so
crazy.
Thank you
guys
for help with that. That was over the summer. If you don't know what we're talking about, Kaylee donated her clothing.
I know. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, I'm wondering if I have other. I'll have to go through my closet and like see if there's other things to donate. And like,
you're like, here's a shoelace.
Yeah, I'm like, hey guys, I like all of my Josie earrings. Like, hey guys, take them. Like,
real quick on Legacies, I did watch to support you. I really did enjoy the mental health aspect of the most recent episode.
Thanks.
Both with Lizzie being broken and with Dark Josie versus
normal Josie.
I
had a very long conversation with myself and with the writers of being like, this is like a story of Josie literally learning self-love, right? Like, this is actually a story of somebody learning to accept them in all of their flaws. And they were like, yes. I was like, yeah, right.
You're like, you can thank me later.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, but exactly, it really is a journey of self-love, and taking away from that, it was really nice. Especially, I know I had started quarantine when that episode came out, and it was really, really cool seeing that, especially because, and I know I'm probably taking it a little bit too far,
as I always do, so go on ahead.
The fact that it was in her head, like, you know, like, it just shows that the majority of the battles take place in your own head.
Oh, completely.
And yes, she had, why am I forgetting her name? Hope. She had Hope come in and help her.
Right.
And I just thought of Hope as my mental health medication.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And help me get there on the way and stuff. So I want you guys who are watching, if you're struggling and you're alone with those thoughts and your own, like, it's really helpful to personify depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation with Dark Josie. Well, so, like, how we started saying online where if you're struggling, say, Dark Josie is with me right now. I need help.
Right. Well, and I think also with Dark Josie kind of signifying, what am I trying to say?
And you say you're in college.
My brain is gone. Like, can we just talk about that? My vocabulary skills are just significantly getting less and less. Any hoozles.
Wait, my brother says I have 3 brain cells left, Tim, Tom, and Mary. And I'm like, why are there 2 men? Like,
yeah, why can't there be all women or
a non-binary?
Yeah.
Like, geez.
Why does it have to be this way? But they actually cut out a line that I was like slightly bitter about, because I thought that it was like the perfect conversation that I would have had with my sort of dark Josie that I feel like anybody could have with their dark Josie. And so Josie, after she had put an axe in dark Josie's heart, that's that sci-fi aspect that we just, there's that. She said something where she goes, and I don't hate you. I just don't need you right now, or I don't need you anymore. And I'm just like,
they cut that?
bruh. Like, if I could say that to myself when I was at my worst point of like, no, I don't hate you. I just don't need you anymore.
Did they film it and then didn't include it?
Yes, dude. I think that they said something. They changed it to like they skipped the line because of timing, and I'm like, bro, come on. Anyways, but now you guys know.
That is so important though.
Mm-hmm.
Like accepting and loving yourself even at your worst.
Mm-hmm.
And also something that I think people need to recognize is that I'm going to talk in terms of dark Josie because we're kind of going with that metaphor, is that dark Josie can come back and most likely will come back. But because normal Josie went through this already, she knows how to cope. She knows how to get through it. And that's what I say to everyone who says, oh, you're better now with my suicidal ideation, is I'm like, I'm better right now, but I can say with 99% guarantee that this will happen again. I will fight my dark Josie again, but I know I'll win again because I've been through it and because I have the coping skills that I need to get through it. I'm getting chills, man.
Yeah, no, but it's so important that people know that these things, it's a part of you because it's a part of our genetics. It's a part of everything that happens when you just come out of the womb. But there comes a point where I think the hardest part is realizing that you have it initially. And that's that first, I think the first battle is maybe always the worst for a lot of people. But once you take that and you say, no, I'm stronger from that and I can learn how to healthily cope with these things now, is a huge stepping stone. It was for me. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Tiki. All right. Well, I should probably now talk to a few more people about Stardust and get back to book club. But thank you so much, Nikki, for talking about this. It was super, super helpful. And I hope that a lot of people learned from this and will now go visit Green Ribbon Club and get
www.greenribbonclub.org. greenribbonclub.org.
Go get some good coping mechanisms, y'all.
We love to hear it.
Yeah, that was super helpful for you guys. I know. But yeah, back to Stardust, I guess. Such a strange transition, right? But I guess it's not, because I use books as a sort of safe place for my mental health. Poppy, Arrow, where are you at? Let's see if I can do this now. My question is, why doesn't this button work? You know, see, it just does that. So, hi. Hi. Is Poppy on the live? Poppy, are you here? Send a sign. Arrow, are you here? Send a sign. Or we can have our Instagram person, Rue for Real 06. Rue for Real. This person, if Rue for Real 06 isn't able to come on right now, find their review because they are so incredibly well spoken. I literally have it underlined, well spoken. Tie into Aristarchus and how exaggeration equals poetry, but it doesn't make it profound, and how you could say that about Stardust, but they didn't think that. Poppy or Rue or Arrow, where you at, bro? This makes me really sad because why isn't it working? This makes me sad. She's here. Where? Where? Kaylee, they're here. Where? Dude, only Popo and, well, Poppy. I can't be the only one that's struggling here. Are other people struggling as much as I am with? No, somebody. Only Poppy and Arrow respond, please, and thank you. Peace. Nikki says no more commenting. Come in. Hola. Poppy? Arrow? Can you comment so I can try to add you? I know that Modern Love is Poppy, but I haven't seen them come up. At this point, send a sign, bro. I know. Where is Rue? Bro, this is so hard. Why is my button not working? This makes me so sad because I just wanted to talk to these people. I mean, I want to talk to everybody. But these people had really cool points. Who is Poppy? I would like to meet Poppy as well. Fine. If Poppy and Arrow aren't coming up, I'm just going to talk about their opinions. I'm going to put their ats. I'm going to say them so that you guys can go find them because what they had to say was really cool. Okay? Okay. So, Arrow. Everybody was a very big fan of Arrow, which makes me sad that people can't freaking see Arrow or Poppy or this person, Rue for Real 06. Okay. Arrow. Thought that Victoria led Tristan on, which I thought was really interesting because I think I go back and forth. Huh? Poppy? Somebody just yelled Poppy. Poppy's not actually here. Somebody says Rue is here. Where are they at then? Rue was here. That's past tense. I study language. Kaylee, Rue was on, but where? I really wanted to talk to Rue. Rue called. I can't pick up the Rue, you have to comment because my button to call people isn't working. So if you comment. Rue! Hi! Yes! Go live with Rue! Okay.
Oh my God, hi. Hi, so my name is Marilyn, and I'm gonna start by saying thank you for including me in this live stream. I hope everyone is staying safe in this confinement. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for joining. I love what you had to say, and you are so well spoken, by the way.
Thank you. I have a few things to say. So I found the story of Tristan very interesting, especially during times like these. In fact, he decided to leave his reality and everyday life to go to the land of fairies. Now, this is interesting because people should try to not be so caught up in their own reality that this reality becomes the only kind of reality and the only one that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sure, not go and get a star for the one that they love and have
Right.
this man. But like read a book, watch a movie, like think deeply about them.
Right. There's healthier ways to go about things than just like leave the place that you know.
Right. Yeah, and it's true that this book is a fairy tale, but I saw in it fragments of reality and personalities that we might encounter in our everyday lives. Like, for example, in the beginning, when they were introducing the character of Dustin Thorne, Tristan's father,
Mm-hmm.
they said he was a practical lad who, for the past 6 months, was countering Daisy Hemstock,
Yeah.
who shared his same practicality. This means, I think that maybe this means that in his routinely life, I'm sorry, I spaced out.
No, it's okay.
His practicality, along with hers, seemed logical. But then he wanders off to the land of the fairies, and we were later told that he slept with a fairy, which shared no similarity with him. And this made me think that people usually settle for stability in their everyday lives, but then they wander off to where inhibitions are lowered, and I'm not justifying his actions, I'm just displaying a pattern. And they find themselves wanting someone who throws caution to the wind and who isn't remotely like them.
Yeah. Well, it's like this over romanticization of being like adventurous and being carefree when you're not really. The fact that Daisy stopped eating because she had like lost what she thought was the love of her life, and how she didn't understand why he didn't love her anymore. Right.
And a second example I noticed, when Gaiman introduced the potential lords of Stormhold, he gave each one of them a characteristic. He qualified, and if I'm not mistaken, Primus as expectant, Tertius, is that how we say it?
I don't know. Well, we can call it that.
As wary, and Septimus as blank. Now, the first two are opposite extremes, like, expectancy and wariness. I kind of expected the blank one to last the longest. Actually, I didn't expect him to, spoiler alert, die in the end.
Right.
But I think that's the message. Because, when you're either always anxious or cautious, or too confident and watchful, like nothing is going to happen to me, both those types of people end up in dire situations. Meanwhile, the one who had a blank expression and showed no emotions whatsoever and acted in silence, sure, he died at the end, but I think that him dying the last is the message. And of course, I'm gonna clear up again that I'm not justifying his actions. He did kill his brother, which was an awful thing. But what do you think? Isn't that kind of
no, I definitely get what you're saying, because I think that there's something to be said for the person, the two people that are on the two far extremes. Obviously, we're sort of the first to go in a sense, whereas the person who was blank, I think that there's something to be said for not being either too extreme on either end, and then being so extreme in the other end of being nothing. Like, there comes a point where you just have to stick up for yourself and be your own person, and that's what puts you on the right path.
And not show everyone what you're doing, like be like private and stuff.
Right. And I think that there's something to be said that all of the Stormhold men were kind of villains in their own rights, that I wasn't necessarily rooting for any of them, if that makes sense. Because there was a point where I was just like, yeah, witch, get him.
No, the witch is not better, actually.
No, the witch is definitely not better. But there was a point where I was like, okay, so if the witch takes out him, and then somebody can take out the witch, like, it could be a domino effect.
Right, yeah, I thought that as well.
But I thought that it was interesting that aging is what killed the witch, and not as sort of like what we were talking about earlier of like this sudden climactic battle, that it was her own biggest fear of dying of old age is what did end up happening to her.
They didn't mention her death though, right?
They just kind of insinuated it, I feel like, in a way.
Yeah, right.
Then we'll watch there be like another entire book on the witch becoming young again. Who knows?
No thanks.
Yeah, right.
So finally, I want to say, like, the thing I didn't fancy was the mentioning of gore and violence. And I'm quoting, a puddle of brackish blood. And the way they killed that poor unicorn.
That was so hard to read.
Yeah, and they dismembered him and took his horn. And, like, I was like, was that so necessary to mention? And, like, why?
I almost wonder if it was the author's way of solidifying the witch as being, like, the most evil of the sort of story, because there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, like taking out on the stuff that are helpless.
Well, and I think to the point where it's like, it was so unnecessary. It was an unnecessary act of evil. Like, you could have just killed the unicorn when you needed to kill the unicorn.
Poke him in the eyeball and then dismember it.
There was a lot.
It was a bit extreme. But then again, in retrospect, this violence created a sort of nuance between things. Like, 1 second, he's gazing at the beautiful night and the flashing stars and the breathtaking views. and then a second later he's being assaulted by trees and sharp leaves.
Right. Well, and I
And there's a
also found
rhyme.
it interesting how many people and different sort of entities throughout the fairy were willing to help him with nothing in
Yes,
return. I thought that that
right.
was
And
so interesting.
they insinuated that the moon kind of asked them to do that because the moon cares about his daughter, which is the star, and he found himself having help. And there was this mention of this guy with a black hat who told him that he will get everything his heart like desires. And I
Right.
don't know how that is relevant because he wasn't mentioned after. So it was a weird book, really, but I liked it.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those things where I feel like you could pick it apart in a lot of different ways. So it's like, okay, did all of those people and those trees help him because of the flower that his father gave him that had these magical powers
Yeah,
to them,
that
or
came
was it the
from his
moon?
wife.
Yeah, I have to wonder what exactly the author was getting at that made him so easily go through, not easily, but pretty easily go through his journey with the help of
Yeah,
so
his journey
much.
was very like less disturbing because of the help of many people like,
Mm-hmm.
that were sent to him by some unknown source.
Right. And it's like the person that had it the worst
Thank
was
you.
the star because she was just like trying to
Yeah, like you
walk on a
said, she was
broken
like
leg.
limping the whole time.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much. I really enjoyed what you had to say.
thank you.
Yeah. Have a good
Yeah,
one.
that's all.
And stay safe, please. Stay inside if you can
You
and
too,
take
you
care of
too.
yourself. I hope that you're staying with somebody and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and you too. And I just want to say that thank you for always being such a bright person and always.
Oh,
I
thank
admire
you.
you, and I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you so much. All right. I'll talk to you. Hopefully, I'll talk to you again. Thank you.
Hopefully, bye.
Bye. Everybody is so nice. Okay. Let's see if this button works again. Nope. Nope. Poppy and Arrow, I'm so sorry. I really am sorry. This makes me very sad. But so I talked a little bit about what Arrow had to say about how he felt that Victoria kind of led Tristan on. And I think that you can look at it from both ways of if this girl was sort of the sort of person of the town of being the most beautiful and the most desirable, that I have to wonder how many men made promises to her that she brushed off. So there comes a point where I have to wonder if Victoria was made out to be the villain when she was kind of just used to those propositions and didn't take it seriously, which I don't. Ah, Errol! Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? 25? Yeah! Hi! No. Hi. Hi.
Did we finally get it?
Hi!
Oh my god!
Yeah!
I was like commenting, and I was like, "Let's go!"
Thank you
Oh,
so much
this
for
was that was
commenting
like
at
one
the
of the most
right time. I
irritating things
appreciate you.
ever. Oh my god!
Welcome.
All right, so okay, thank you. All right, so yes, so I posted like on my story like a week ago. It was like I was like bored. I was like, oh, let's do questions or something and whatever. So like I just got done watching Legacies and I just like it just popped up. And then I think like one of my followers, because so I'm actually a professional poker player, so I have like a lot of followers. I think they found there's like mutual there, and it blew up on Twitter. I was like, what? I was like, all the feedback and everything. I was like, oh my god, this is like insane. So but yeah, so a few things I actually like to talk about. So the Green Ribbon Club, I think that was actually a great thing. So I know this is a little yeah, but I would like to make $1,000 donation to the Green Ribbon
Yes? No? Oka-san, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Hi. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to try to add this person again because they were so nice. Okay, I have the requests open. The button is working. If you're there, please try to call. This is so frustrating. I'm so sorry, you guys. Bear, please don't add to this. Barrett. Ha. Hi. Bear, please.
All right.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I was like, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Um, so what were we talking about? I said what I said about the Green Ribbon Club, but um,
And thank you so much, by the way. That's so much, and that means so much to me and Nikki, and I'm sure a lot of people are really gonna have a lot of help
oh,
because of you. So
definitely.
thank you so
No, it's
so much.
actually, no, it's not a problem. No, so, actually, so 2 years ago when I, got picked up and everything, the poker and everything, um, I actually went through anxiety, depression myself and everything. So, I definitely really, and I think it's just like a beautiful thing, like supporting one another and helping one another, and it's a non-profit, profit organization and everything. So it's really, it's, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not really good with. This is like my first book live, my first
No, no,
whatever
no,
live. I
no.
just got back on social media, so I have like no idea what to do, so or
No,
say.
I
So,
completely get what you're saying. So
yeah. Um, so what? So as what you were saying, so with the book, whatever. So I just reread it. The last time I read it before that was like years ago. It was like middle school. It was like I just like the book, and you're so correct. Like yes, it's like a small book, and book versus movie. I feel like if the book and the movie like became together, like it would have been like even a way better movie, if that makes sense. So
I
but
actually
yeah.
haven't seen the movie, so maybe now I need to watch the movie and decide.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of it's different. Like they end up together forever and everything. But I actually like the ending, it like shows that, you know, like it's that era, was it like 1800s or something, and they're like it's like 1800s, and I don't know, like showing that basically like men, have to rule the world or whatever, and she ended up like, ruling and everything. And I thought, it was like every happy ending doesn't, have to involve love or and stuff like that. So, I thought that was pretty cool and everything. And I
Right.
actually, like the part, I actually like the part that I don't know, I said this like when I like a long time ago, like I know it's like corny or whatever, but so I write things down. I'm like wicked old school, so
Oh no,
um
I do too.
yeah, yeah. Right. I feel like he really saved her and that she saved him in a way. Because like in the beginning when he was talking to Victoria and everything about all these things, I feel like that he didn't want to do them for her. I felt like he wanted to do those things for him himself. Like, it explains in the book, like he daydreamed, he stuff like that and everything. And I don't know, like I'm so sorry. I'm like terrible at describing
No, you're
things.
doing good. You're doing good.
So
It's fine.
I'm so terrible. I am so terrible.
No,
But
you're doing fine. But no, I get what you're
he
saying, where it's like they both were at a place where they needed each other. And so it wasn't exactly like a black and white
yeah, yeah,
situation.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And and my favorite character was the moon. I thought it was like pretty cool, like her going like into his dreams. It was like, oh, protect like my daughter and this and that. And I thought that was like pretty cool too. Like that was my favorite part and everything. And I thought like the witch parting them, like at the end of the book, like, just let them be. It shows that, there are bad people, but sometimes they don't have to be bad all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. Like there's a sort
Like,
of human
you
aspect to the witch by the end
yeah,
of it of like, okay, you have weaknesses.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
complete. And I also love what you
like I
had to
said,
say about how
this
you really
was
like the
like,
description of the creatures.
I'm sort of losing you. I don't know if it's my connection or your connection.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
Yeah, you're like cutting out a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, oh.
Okay, no, I see. No, I got you. I got you. I got
Okay.
you.
I
Yeah,
love what you had to
you're
say
good.
about the description of the creatures. So I would like to hear what you had to say about that as well.
All right, so I actually have a page. I'm not gonna read you the whole page because I want, other people to be like whatever. But to show you, yeah,
Oh,
I'm not gonna
whoa.
read the whole thing. But no, yeah. So I'm at like so one thing I'd like to say too. I think it was another big thing too. A lot of people were like, "Oh, he's a guy and he reads and he's part of like a book." So this is my first book club. Like I was like, there is definitely more guys that like read and everything. I've been reading for so long, like since I was younger and everything. Like
Yeah, I definitely
reading
think there's a lack of
has been a
visibility
huge
there.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And so I actually grew up in Spain and Italy. And so like there's a whole bunch of books and everything. And also another thing I'd like to point out, you said it earlier. This is not my favorite book. But it was, growing up, but I'm more like probably one of my favorite books if I think top of my head is like Perks of Being a Wallflower or something like that. But yeah, but creature part, let's go. Um all right. My favorite creature was the moon. They tell how she was the mother of the stars, and I think that had a beautiful creative poetry to all that. The unicorn was loyal, and the star, and was loyal to her in a general. And I don't think that I was the only one when the unicorn died in a horror. I think when the unicorn died, that was like terrible. That was so terrible. Like that was really sad. And the talking tree, I wish had a bigger part in the movie, and they should have put it in there. But I wish like the book described the creatures a little bit more because like it didn't like really say like why they have like these powers or like why
Well, yeah, and I feel like there was so much cool background, very like sprinkled in there. Yeah, that I feel like we were almost like gypped a little bit. Like I feel like I almost want an entire story based off of like the history of fairy, not only Tristan's journey.
exactly. And like I said, like the I definitely like that is one thing that yeah, when I was younger I thought it was cool and everything. I wasn't really in like depth with things and everything, but with being 23 now and like reading the book, I was like, oh wow, they really did jip us out and everything. But and I'm just skimming through because I don't want to like read like this whole thing. The pirate, like with the like the ship and everything. So I like if you like Captain Hook or like stuff like that, captains are like meant to be like this feared, respected type of person, and they made the captain like sort of like nice and soft. I sort of like that, like this book, really shows like angles and everything, like like the endings, like I said, with the star becoming ruling the kingdom and everything, and
Right,
Tristan
yeah.
died and whatever, and the captain being soft and everything, and then talk about or like I said, I don't want to read like this whole page. It's like crazy.
Yeah, no, I like what you said about the trees too, because I feel like the trees, like scientifically speaking, trees can live for so long. So of course they have so much knowledge and story to tell. So I feel like that was something really interesting that was in the book, but I just wish that there was more detail involved with that.
And another thing, Victoria, I did not like her at all. I did not like her character. No offense or anything. Okay, no offense or anything, but like, she couldn't tell like Tristan, like, oh hey, I just got engaged, that's why I'm not gonna kiss you. Just let this dude go on this whole adventure, or whatever, go chase a star. Like, I'm not saying she's a gold
Yeah,
digger, but
there
like she's
definitely is like,
dude.
yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, I feel like Victoria just clearly did not take him seriously, but there is like a lack of information that was put
No.
forward. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yes, this woman did know that she was engaged, and that should have been clear. She shouldn't have been walking with this dude and like letting him do all
No,
these things.
she ended up with like a 40-year-old, like yeah, store Mr. Monday or something like that. His name was, I believe. He was like the store owner or something like that. It's like a 40-year-old, like but I also like the part, that it felt like a huge relief when when he came back and she told him, like told Trisha and everything. He felt like such a relief and everything, and you know, deeply, he wanted everything. But the main, whole thing with this book, um, I'm sorry, the whole thing with the book, he, it's so ironic, a falling star, and like I said in the beginning, he daydreamed, he wanted, so many things, and he found adventure, he found love that generally loved him back and everything. And it was because of a falling star. In our world, when you see a falling star, you wish on it, expect a wish to come true or whatever. And in this case, he got everything he wanted. I mean, come on, became a king and everything, and had like a whole kingdom. And the way like they described, like, the star was like crazy beautiful. She sang, and all stuff like that. So
And I also
yeah,
love how
so
feisty she was too. Like she was just constantly just like digging into
so
him.
hold on. Let me show. Hold on, I gotta show you this part because that is so funny that you say that. Hold on. What does that part say?
Oh, I can't see it. It's really pixelated.
It's that I am so sorry. Yeah, my lighting is so bad in here. But it says she was funny, feisty, in some parts of the book. I grow so fond of her. So that the word that you say feisty, and I did too, that is so funny. That is so
That's
funny.
funny. But it's
So
like a perfect
yeah.
description for who she is.
No, she was like she was definitely a character that, like I said, many people grew fond of, like what you said in the beginning too, like, oh, she was stubborn, she was this, but she also she just came in the world like not knowing what to think, not knowing how to feel, not knowing, whatever, and then she just meets this guy, he just like chains her, and it was like,
Right.
like, and she has like really no idea how to feel about anything or whatever. So but then, she realizes that, there is, good people and everything. And I'm just skimming through and see what I'm missing here. Okay, so I feel like I'm missing something really. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. I like that like they mentioned like other stars and like how they were sisters and everything. And it's not just that, in the book she was very vulnerable. Like she was so vulnerable and everything. So you know, and the whole chase and everything, like I said, when I was younger, the whole chasing was, but the chase, that was another thing too. Trishan got something that everyone wanted. That was Victoria and his village, but and the other, over across the wall, that was something that everyone wanted, and he got that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, he got everything that he wanted. So
yeah, it's like he wished upon a star that he would like find like love, and in a way it turned into this like humongous expression of love within that like wish upon a star.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's basically I think the book. I don't know.
Well,
I have no way. Like I said,
I really liked what you had to say. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm so glad I actually got to find you. That was like so difficult, but I'm glad I got to
my
talk to you.
I was like, I was commenting like crazy, but yeah, definitely. And Green River Club, if you're watching this, definitely message me. And yeah, nice talking to you.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure Green Living Club is gonna like message you and everything. So thank you so much for that as
definitely.
well.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Bye. Can I? Oh no, I just did that instead. Okay, here we go. Hi guys. All right. So if Poppy doesn't show up, that's okay, because I will send out a tweet to Poppy and say sorry, because I'm so sorry that my phone is not working with me right now and didn't work with me throughout this entire live. But thank you to you guys that stuck through this adventure. Not only did we go on an adventure in Stardust, we went on Wandering Brian's book club as well. So I'm really sorry, Poppy, that I'm not able to go live with you. But maybe actually like next time I go live, I'll message you and we can talk then, because I love what you had to say. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do think it's going to be a little bit until I do an actual Bryant's book club, just because, like I said before, I'm once again a full-time college student, so I have quite a bit of homework and assignments and things like that that I'm working on. But yeah, please check out the Green Ribbon Club because it's such a great organization. And yeah, reach out to your friends, check in on yourself. I keep saying, but yeah, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you guys so much for that amazing video. If you are on my Twitter, so many of you amazing, beautiful humans made this really, really sweet video of like passing the Stardust book. And I just thought that that was so sweet and so cool because obviously not everybody can get together. So seeing everybody together, but not together was just really beautiful. And it almost made me cry. But that's besides the point. So thank you guys so, so much. And I will see you guys later. Stay safe. Bye.